you can win control, all you have to worry about is winning one other game type over the entire course of the series, and you're going to win it. So there is a huge benefit to being the team that is better on control maps.
Yeah, for sure. I think that control is realistically, I personally I think control has some problems as a competitive game mode. Sometimes people complain about assault a lot, but I think control, sometimes it just gives so much value to the first winner of mid, first winner of that first control. But you're going to run into it in tiebreaker scenarios. You're going to run into it and all the time, so you have to be very confident on it.
So we're going to be getting into it here early on Lijiang Tower. And taking a look at the compositions that are coming out here, you're going to see from EM, they're running Doha on the Sombra, where this has been a pretty decent look here for EM when they've run these Sombra setups.
Yeah, I think this is when they're feeling a lot most comfortable, when Doha is on the Sombra right now. Both teams now just controlling the point. It's going to be GEEKSTAR, though, having a lot stronger point presence.
GEEKSTAR getting onto the point first, but this is what you expect in this sort of contrast where the team Sombra has to give it more room. But here's the really good part, and something that Doha's been very solid on, is that already, yes, they're going to lose first control, but you take a look at that, 65% right now for Doha. He's building the EMP incredibly quickly, and they even get the D-Mech there, so good chance that Element Mystic can easily get back in here.
They can't get back in right now, but you see that he's holding this so aggressive right now, so he doesn't want to have them in the poop. Udine going to be picking up Geboshi. That's really huge right now.
And now, more importantly, here comes EM. Doha over the top, going to drop the EMP, moving forward and invest Transcendence right after. A little bit, perhaps, of an overcommitment there. You got the early pickoff, you've already used the EMP. Maybe the EMP didn't get as much as they would have liked. It's still a fight that Element Mystic is going to win, but I do wonder if they could have done it a little bit more cheaply.
They maybe definitely could have, but I think that Doha is doing a great job of farming here again. And also that hack at the end, post-EMP, denying the trance out from Who, making sure they couldn't commit it there to continue to contest point. So great hacks coming out for Doha there, who continues to show that excellence on Sombra.
Very much so, and for now, Element Mystic, they're going to retake control, going to be holding a little bit more aggressively. And the goal here is for Doha, build another EMP before they get back over into the point. And 70%, again, doing a very good job of it.
Very good job of it, but it is going to be the double support ups coming up very soon for GEEKSTAR. They don't have that combo up just yet, but they're going to look to be extremely aggressive here.
Well, Graviton coming in here pretty early from GEEKSTAR, moving in, going to be answered by a barrier on the other side. Sparkle says, you know what, why don't you guys get all together, and the fall through will be there for Element Mystic. So, again, very solid control coming in from them. They do invest the EMP, again, just to be sure, but they've evened things up here on percentage.
However, if you're GEEKSTAR, you can't be too terribly worn down by that, because considering the fact that Who died before that EMP came out, so the trance is still going to be available. Leo is still going to have that shatter. They have the ults to break open this fight, since Udine is going to be the only one really on EM that has his ult.
Meanwhile, Doha trying to build up EMP from the back, and it's a pretty good build, all in all. They have a little bit of time to win, but you look at GEEKSTAR, they're getting poked down so heavily that it's delaying their ability to move in cleanly. They have to heal up, and while they're healing up, look at Doha on the other side, now up to 60%. This is how you want to run a Sombra setup. Leo moving forward, gonna drop the hammer. GEEKSTAR committing here while they feel they have the opportunity. Transcendence though, out from Element Mystic. Now they can break the other way. EMP built up mid-fight, dropped. Spark holding on to the grab, isn't easier just yet, and 3 pickoffs after Sparkle uses the grab. Element Mystic well on their way to taking this round.
And that was after trading out grabs with Yamwon there, so actually a great fight, despite the point being flipped for GEEKSTAR for a little bit. The trades and ults and the time bank is still going to be great here for EM. They have to be feeling extremely confident. I think that right now, they're really in the best position they could be, considering they don't have to continue to farm here as they move to this flank. And really, it's Geboshi that's going to be the only one that has that ult up very soon, maybe looking as an engage.
We'll have to see. Engage coming in here. Both teams on the point. GEEKSTAR desperately trying to reflip. Early bubble going to be used here. They're looking to take down Brigitte off. They don't quite connect. Geboshi looking for the Seltzer down. And now as we take a look at this, even between two teams, but it's going to be Element Mystic trying to fight this back. Transcendence in here from Udine. And now barrier answered on the other side. Even fight, but EM applying a lot of pressure right now.
Okay, I'm going to drop the shatter off the EMP. Going to be able to clean up too. This should be the point flip. This should be the point cap control for EM. Great fights for them so far. Just building those EMPs so quickly, getting so much value out of them, and denying GEEKSTAR their advantages.
So that's going to be round 1. Done and over with here. And EM, so I do like what they've kind of settled into here, where, look, not every team is going to be a fantastic 3-3 team. Some teams, they do have to go to the Sombra setup. And to a degree, you have to commit to it, right? Where I think the way to get on EM would be to force them out of the Sombra. But for now, their Sombra gameplay has been incredibly clean. Doa has been doing exactly what you need from a Sombra in this situation.
Really, the only consistent downside of running the Sombra is not only your lack of frontline presence, but also the fact that you just have to build ults extremely quickly, and he was doing that. He was building those ults so fast.
He was building them very, very quickly.
Running out here to the mid. Both teams, I mean, still going to be running the 3-3 here for GEEKSTAR, while obviously Doa still in that Sombra for EM. Just looking for the engage.
So, gonna be seeing GEEKSTAR move back out. And again, their bread and butter here is they need to get the engage quickly. The more they wait, the more that Doa is able to build up and get to that good condition. Now GEEKSTAR is saying, you know what, we're gonna commit. We're gonna move forward. Heavy pressure going in, but EM, again, just very, very good at disengaging when they need to.
Yeah, extremely important to get that disengage. You see Leo now, barrier.
Doa down.
Doa down, though. Without the Sombra, that means there's no fight winner. There is no EMP on the field. That's going to be GEEKSTAR getting the first cap.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what they have to do, right? When you're the team that's not running the Sombra, you have to get first control in the situation. If you let the Sombra team somehow get first control, the odds that you actually swing it back, very low.
It is. It's very low. And still, despite the great rotation from EM, GEEKSTAR made the right play by charging into the front line. They're going to do it here again because so much presence here early on the Takoyaki.
Pressure coming on in. GEEKSTAR getting thrown back a bit. Meanwhile, Doa 81%. Rally can be up here from Mystic, and they immediately use it. They use it so they can even up the pressure on both sides. Rally now best on the GEEKSTAR side. So both Brigidas getting into it. But while this is going on, Doa has built up the EMP, goes to the back, drops the EMP immediately, and they use it to isolate Leo. Out of the fight right away. Clean man advantage Element Mystic, and that should give them everything they need to get back here on the point. The cleanup here a little bit slow, but once you lose the Rhine and nothing, you don't give up anything in reserve, you usually take the point.
Definitely should take the point here with the Rhine down, with those ults traded, who dropping that trance. And EM have to be feeling pretty confident despite the time bank, because they're still going to hold on to a lot of their key ults, especially those double support ults. So they're in a very good position here to hold the choke as Assassin, or not Assassin I should say, but Assassin's going to be building up towards another rally. Hanbin though a little bit of the ult advantage.
Sparkle, one back here, Graviton in reserve, and EM, they can just wait for a little bit here. They decided not to take the fight the choke, but now it means that GEEKSTAR has to commit. They have to chase down Element Mystic, and Element Mystic can just play the time game. Here now, a lot of pressure going on to Takoyaki's shield. Earth Shatter dropped under pressure here, and doesn't really do too much. This is a pretty good engage from GEEKSTAR here so far, up 2. They invested the barrier really late into the fight, though, as Gableshi gets 2 off the self-destruct. I don't know if they need the barrier there.
I mean, they did. I don't think they need the barrier either, especially considering that Doa is coming back with the EMP, so they won't have that double support ult to live through this next fight. It might just have to be an instant fight loss here, especially considering that Sparkle has the grab, and who does not have trance. So really, GEEKSTAR have to try to get some value out of Leo's Shatter, maybe use the rally for the engage. They could also just tank the fight if they so desire.
So EMP can be dropped here by Doa. EM immediately engaging off of that, and it's what you see over and over again. You use the EMP, you get on the Reinhardt, and the cleanup follows through. Element Mystic now about to retake. The one downside for them, though, is that even though their Sombra setup has been reasonably well done, it's been slow, and because of that, and the fight that GEEKSTAR was able to get just a little bit ago, they're very much down to time bank. They don't have any margin for error now.
They don't have a very big margin for error at all. And they're going to have to manage their support ult economy in particular extremely well coming between these fights. Yeonwon and Gibelshi don't have their, they don't have the combo just yet, but if they use it early for these engages, they have to get a lot of value.
Graviton can be invested here early from EM. No follow through here just yet. Transcendence out from GEEKSTAR. Starting to look to move this in the other way. EM, they need to disengage a bit here, buy a bit of time to build up EMP. They still have 2 support ults in reserve, so they definitely can buy that time, but it's up to Doa right now. GEEKSTAR, they know it, they're gonna push forward. They force out the Transcendence early. Doa, 75%, the win condition in reserve, building EMP very quickly. I look to Unique, gonna drop the barrier in response. EMP out, Element Mystic going in. Off the EMP, GEEKSTAR, they lose Leo. He's not able to get away quite in the nick of time. D-Mac's gonna come in, and Element Mystic now 1 fight away from taking this first map.
That EMP was huge. Not only stopping the charge, but stopping all the cleanup on the grab, despite that EM had no support ults. Winning the fight there. They're still gonna be controlling point. GEEKSTAR have to move in.
GEEKSTAR, 93% to Element Mystic. They need to touch the point here soon. Now we look to Leo. Earthshatter up. Stepping up in the neutral, as they say. Looking for the Earthshatter opportunity. Inside, Graviton get coming first. Melon Mystic. They find Waffle on the other side. Having to self-destruct under pressure, not gonna be able to get back into mech. It somehow catches Takoyaki, but GEEKSTAR still in a really rough spot here. They're getting Dust Transcendence, staying here onto the point. EMP built up again by Doa. That EMP could be the dagger to GEEKSTAR's heart. Pickoffs come in after that, and it's gonna be EM taking map number 1.
The ult economy so strong for EM there, and Doa just continuing to be such a consistent player there, just continually building those ults as needed, and it's just so important there. We see as well Sparkle dropping this defensive grab on the push, catching Waffle, catching Givelshi, and that was really huge because despite Takoyaki going down to the bomb, it just blunted the push from GEEKSTAR.
Yeah, and again, this is the issue that you have where this entire matchup was a very good demonstration of what happens when you're looking at Somerset versus not Somerset and what needs to happen. And plain and simple for GEEKSTAR, you have to get more done while EMP is not a factor in the fight. You are the aggressors. You are the ones with more raw power. You should be able to be more aggressive. You should be able to push the other team out of the way. And if you're not able to decisively do that, you end up taking your time, that time is used to build EMP for the other side, and you're going to lose at that point just because of how good EMP is, not as an ult, but also just for the economy as a whole.
And that's really just showing the prowess, I think, of EM and those fights, because in those ult neutral fights, which for them, ult neutral really just refers to they don't have EMP, they back away from the aggression continually. They're trying not to let themselves get caught at all and not let GEEKSTAR build those critical ults, especially those support ults, which are just so important. So I think that it's really huge for EM to get away from those and to also just back off continuously, just running away from GEEKSTAR's aggression.
So for GEEKSTAR right now, it starts out pretty grim as well. Will they be able to find a way back in? It's only map 1. There's still plenty of time left to go. We'll find out after the break. Well, you know, the story is, if you're playing against Element Mystic, you probably should update your antivirus. Something you might know about here, because you might be getting hacked.
I mean, I've had a lot of internet security updates due to my nature of my name sharing the name of another internet security company. So I get a lot of ats on Twitter. So I'm extremely up to date with today's IT security practices, but it's not very helpful, I think, right now for GEEKSTAR. GEEKSTAR, it seems like they have some of the right concepts of how they want to play against EM Somber play on that control map of Lujang, but they just couldn't finish it out. They couldn't just outbuild the EMPs consistently. They couldn't catch the picks they needed.
I mean, they did have a little bit of a surge of life, I would say, in the middle of control center, where, look, they were able to retake. They got up to 99%. The problem is that they need basically one more fight. And to do when you're just stuck in the eternal sort of slog of getting EMP'd in the middle of the fight. And look, to their credit, I think at they're very, very good at disengaging when they don't have the EMP. They realize, hey, look, we can't win this fight without an EMP, but we're gonna buy time. We're not gonna fully collapse. We're gonna give Doa the time he needs. And then part B is that Doa is just really good at building EMP. pure and simple.
Yeah, exactly. That's really huge for them. It's not just having great EMPs and playing as a team around the EMP, but building them so fast. That's one of the hardest parts, sort of just the missing, I guess, Rosetta Stone of Sombra in a lot of ways. Like, you can get great EMPs, you can have EMPs, your team go around, but if you're not building them fast enough, it just is still putting you at an inherent disadvantage in the 3-3 matchup. And also, I think that EM are doing a great job. Sparkle in particular, we've seen a couple examples of his grabs where after the support ults are used, especially after that EMP usage, using the grabs to catch 1 or 2 people and just get those key picks.
Well, we're going to be heading back in. It is Eichenwald. It's going to be map number 2 here between GEEKSTAR and Element Mystic. And again, for GEEKSTAR, you have to think that season pressure is on the line where, by the way, I mean, no team likes the idea of potentially facing relegation, but I got to tell you, it is incredibly harsh in Korea, where Contenders Trials in Korea is one of the most competitive environments you could ever find yourself in.
As soon as we're going to have the sub here, Waffle going out for Dobie. So it's just going to be that quick main support sub in and out here for GEEKSTAR. Everything else staying about the same. And I think they hear that for EM, I wouldn't be surprised for them to continue to use Sombra. I think that's what they're going to be like, just trying to make the most out of. It seems to be their bread and butter. 3-3 they're not comfortable with. And at the end of the day, even if not being able to play 3-3 as effectively as other top teams puts you in a disadvantage, you just still play to your strengths.
Yeah, and I think we've seen enough of EM over the course of the season to realize, hey, look, this is not a team that's going to be absolutely fantastic with 3-3, and running this makes more sense for the team, especially because of the fact that they do have a better understanding of how to run summer comps than a lot of the other teams in the competition.
And I think also in addition to that, I mean, they did the same stuff last season as well, with obviously a slightly different roster. So I mean, it's really just something that if it's not broke, don't fix it, is pretty much the motto we've heard a lot.
Look, sometimes you move in with the Doomfist, other times around the Sombra. We'll see where it goes. And GEEKSTAR again, trying to be aggressive, but it's that classic EM disengage where they disengage as soon as GEEKSTAR looks in. And while this is going on, Doa is building. Not the absolute fastest build, I'd say here, but 40% is still respectable.
And also, in addition to that, the shield presence here onto Leo is so strong. EM winning this shield war. Look how low the barrier is. Here comes the aggression again. EM trying to go for the backup.
Desperately trying to dive in. Leo getting really low, almost falling. Armor pack coming in just in time to save him. That would have been an absolute disaster if he had fallen there. And EM finding a way of getting good pressure after that early GEEKSTAR dive, and more importantly, Doa now at 90%.
Not only is Doa extremely close to that EMP, but Sparkle getting the early frag. In addition to that, we're going to have the quick break as Dobie goes down, but Sparkle gets the frag and has grab as well post-fight, and there's really only who's trance.
Yeah.
So EM can make the choice in this next fight, I think, when we're looking at the setup where, now we're here, we're back.
Yep.
It's a quick break there for someone had the DC more than likely on their end, because remember, it is online. So I think that EM, though, in a great position. They have the early pickoff. There's only one support available. They have 2 fight winners. They can use they can EMP grab. They can grab EMP. They have a lot of options.
And I think what we're seeing here, by the way, where generally speaking, as we've sort of set the table here, where the team that's not running Sombra should have the advantage in aggression otherwise, and you might be wondering, well, if that is truly the case, if that is what we're seeing, then why is EM getting first pickoff before the EMP comes in? Like, I see your contradiction. How do you explain it? And the way you explain it is simply that EM's doing so well at disengaging that in some of these engages that we're seeing come in, you see that GEEKSTAR kind of goes a little bit too deep to a point where a player like Leo's exposed, then he takes too much poke damage, and then you have to give up ground. And it's just more of a testament to EM's good disengage than anything else right now.
And also the risk you run as a 3-3 aggressive team when you're not in a great position to with that aggression to catch the Sombra team is that Doha is looking for hacks on their aggression. When EM are backing away, Doha is looking for hacks and trying to get just anyone hacked, so then the rest of EM can follow up while their cooldowns are gone, while they can't escape. And the more valuable the target, the better, right? So it's the risk you run when you play against a very strong Sombra team in the 3-3, and you're trying to be very aggressive.
Now, one thing we haven't really seen GEEKSTAR commit too hard to here, where there's one of 2 ways you deal with the Sombra setup, is that either A, you can try and dive into the enemy team and sort of give the Sombra breathing room, go, well, the Sombra doesn't matter as much here if we dive in and kill your front line. That's been the option GEEKSTAR is taking. The second option, which we have seen be effective from time to time, is you could go, okay, well, you're really good at disengaging. What if we put our Diva on the duty of just running after the Sombra and just making the Sombra's life very difficult, where you think the recent matches in the Overwatch League, right, where RCK had times where he wasn't super effective on Sombra because he was just getting chased down relentlessly.
And we're back. EM not having to commit anything there. Just going to be GEEKSTAR just losing the fight, not committing anything themselves. So they're going to be a quick first cap for EM. Still holding on to a lot of their... Actually, they did commit the ult. What am I saying? They committed Sombra ult.
They did.
My eyes.
Towards the very end.
My eyes were hacked.
You know, it's part your eyes were hacked, but also the pause. The pause just actually interrupted space-time and erased a 10-second window. You might well. Yeah, it just works.
We've lost some time there. And now GEEKSTAR getting ready to hold here. On top of that, top of the castle, getting a fight here at the choke. Drop down, and they should be very aggressive knowing that Doha doesn't have that EMP.
And that's exactly why they're diving in, right? They immediately use the Graviton. Now it is answered by Transcendence, but this time it could be a little bit better for GEEKSTAR. Leo to smash and Sparkle to the side, 6-on-5. And when you lose a Zarya especially, you can't bubble your Reinhardt anymore, and you just back out. What?
And I like this chase for GEEKSTAR. Taking out Takoyaki late, Unique very low, having to back up. And I think that chasing here for GEEKSTAR, especially when EMP is off cooldown, but something to note, Doha in that fight already has the EMP.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a win for Element Mystic in the end, where yes, GEEKSTAR buys a little bit of time, but Doha is too effective at building EMPs. I do feel like GEEKSTAR needs to get into the mindset of, how do we stop him from getting an EMP every other fight? Because it's just way too consistent.
Sorry, drop out from GEEKSTAR, there's the EMP.
It's an immediate EMP answer here. They look to Leo, where usually they'll try and block the Reinhardt, but they're not able to do it this time. Unique, a little bit far forward, gets caught out. Man advantage out of the GEEKSTAR. They're going to turn it the other way. Takoyaki out of the fight. 2-man advantage, and they just bring it back to spawn. So that's a huge swing in game momentum coming in for GEEKSTAR.
Great aggression from GEEKSTAR there. I mean, Doha had to was using the EMP in a defensive manner, but GEEKSTAR just continued extremely aggressively. They had the rally up as well. The armor doesn't get hacked, doesn't go away, unlike shields. So great engage. And now Yom1's almost close to another grab, almost close to that combo.
Yeah, and for GEEKSTAR, again, this is their ideal situation. Unique almost down early, eats a lot of poke damage to start with. Hub in trouble. Element Mystic going to give a lot of ground. They Graviton in response to the pressure, but answered by the barrier of GEEKSTAR. GEEKSTAR dropping a grab of their own, looking for the fall through, force out the Transcendence, and the self-destructing Gable Sheet. Able to take down Unique. So GEEKSTAR, they invest quite a bit into this fight, but they get what they need. And Element Mystic has been running into a brick wall.
They've been stymied here so far. A lot better job. Also, it's sort of the geography of the current map right now for Eichenwald is that GEEKSTAR can have a lot better engages here onto EM, especially while Doha is split. So, and it's a little bit tougher to get those effective EMPs early.
It's not the most EMP-able of terrain, and it definitely plays the GEEKSTAR here where they don't have to worry as much. But Doha goes for the top, the interception mid-air EMP. But at the same note, Element Mystic is in a great spot to immediately fall through. Leo able to back on out there. The effects of the EMP now going away. He got hacked on top of it, so everything is getting hacked for him, but he's totally fine now. Going to drop the Shatter the other way. Doesn't connect on anything, and going the fall to Sparkle's grab. Element Mystic starting to fight this back a bit, and it was a good grab coming in from Sparkle.
That was a good grab. It was a very good grab, but also a great transfer from Hu early in the fight. It was a 5-man EMP, but he sees the setup. He saw the translocator going out for Doha and just pops the preemptive trance. Keeps the fight running very long. And now EM, though, they're moving the cart and Doha 75% to another EMP.
And this is the danger when you play against Element Mystic, where Doha is able to do this so consistently. GEEKSTAR, what response do they have to this EMP?
Right now, their best response is they're going to have to get this trance up. They're going to have to get this trance up and look for the grab engage. Remember, no D.Va on the field, no eats.
Problem is they're a long way away from Transcendence. Who doesn't get hit, but it doesn't matter. Assassin and Leo down. He's a long way from Transcendence. Element Mystic up 2, and this should be a very easy point B take.
These EMPs are being built disgustingly fast. It's like I don't even know how to best. It's like I really don't know how to best describe it. But these are incredibly fast EMP builds.
I mean, I think the best way of describing what we're seeing is that Doha isn't under a lot of pressure, and anytime he's not under the pressure, he is landing incredibly consistent damage to the back, where it's not about the damage, it's about the ult building.
Very, very fast. GEEKSTAR now. Still here, they're in a good spot. They're going to have the double support ult, they're going to have the grab, even the combo, if they so desire to commit in this fight. And Yom1, remember, while he's on the Zarya, he doesn't have to worry about those eats. Drops the grab.
Well, Graviton can be used here early. They decide not to wait for the self-destruct, but they also don't fall through looking for him. Meanwhile, Sparkle, counter grab coming on in. You see the self-destruct out a little bit later in the fight, catches Hanbin, 5-on-5, Transcendence put in for GEEKSTAR, so they're all in. And note, Doobie died early, so barrier not even on the table here. Element Mystic, though, getting beaten up a bit, deciding maybe they don't want to invest a whole lot. They've drained a good amount out of GEEKSTAR, though, and they're going to have EMP for the next fight. It's not the worst scenario for EM.
For there in that scenario, when you traded those ults, especially trading the trances, the longer GEEKSTAR stays in the fight, despite the risk of EMP, the better, because they do have that stronger overall health pool and damage.
Now this is interesting. GEEKSTAR is holding up here on the bridge. It's not something you see a whole lot. What do you think the reasoning?
Trying to get the EMP out as early as possible. There's the EMP.
EMP
catches
comes out.
5.
It catches 5, but Elven Mystic was pretty far away. They still get Leo, and that's important. Even as the rest of GEEKSTAR is in hop retreat, Leo still can't get away, gets chased down. The D-Mech's gonna come out. And again, EM starting the relentless assault forward. 1 fight to go.
But now no EMP for this final fight. Dobie will have that beat. Assassin's going to have the rally as well, so these supports will allow GEEKSTAR to come back in and fight here.
GEEKSTAR coming back in, right in the Sparkles grab. Bubble order used here, and Leo isolated and down.
Dobie was hacked. Dobie was hacked by Doa. He couldn't drop beat.
Such a big swing in the fight. The beat doesn't come out. EM now with 3 pickoffs, rolling it forward. GEEKSTAR in a really tough position, and now I don't think Leo's going to come out here in time. That is Eichenwald being completed, and not a bad time either for EM.
Such a crucial hack there. So important. I think that what's really, when you look at really impressive Sombra play in 3-3, not like we've already listed so many different factors, not just building it fast, getting great EMPs, but also finding the high value hacks. You see here, there's the grab out with Dobie. He's hacked the entire time. There's no beat coming out.
And that is a very big hero play coming in, where also you think about Doa's mindset as he had to go in there, right? Where he's not getting an EMP for that fight no matter what, right? Like, you're not going to build it from 15 all the way up to 100. But to your point and what ended up happening, what does he do? He finds the opportunity to get the hack on the Lucio to prevent the beat from coming in, where if you've done good ult tracking, EM had a good idea that it was going to come in, stops it from being a factor, and as a result, EM gets a much easier fight.
Yeah, that's definitely a testament to strong ult tracking there, knowing that Dobie's going to have the beat, knowing he's your target for your hack. Because it pretty much, even with the rally out, you're still going to be able to clean up Leo in that grab with all the combined firepower of the rest of your heroes.
So GEEKSTAR definitely in a tough spot here. I mean, keep in mind, teams don't always finish out Eichenwald. It is probably one of the hybrid maps where you are happy with any completion whatsoever. You know, it's hard to get into a castle than the depths of King's Rose, it turns out.
It is. I mean, it is a fortress designed to be impenetrable. But also in this case, in the much more realistic case, we're also dealing with a little bit, you know, map design here is, it definitely comes into play. It's a tough map to push all the way. So always good to finish in with time looked over. Gonna be GEEKSTAR now on the offense, playing pretty standard 3-3. EM still gonna be playing their Sombra, bread and butter.
So GEEKSTAR again, name of the game here going to be aggression. Get in quickly, get in before Doa gets an EMP. But already, EM just solid poke damage coming in, especially from that guy right there, Undini.
And look at this rotation from EM. They're actually going to be allowing GEEKSTAR to get a lot of point presence early and just giving the community the poke and just contesting, backing up.
And they know that they have time to play with here, right? Where the point isn't flipped until you get all 3. They can back up a bit here. And yeah, Gable-Sheet, well, it still might work out. He goes in deep enough. Leo and who are there for the fall through. And GEEKSTAR making the aggression work here. Doa, he's getting close to the EMP, but EM's already lost 2. This is not bad at all for GEEKSTAR.
It's not bad for them, but they really need to support ult very soon. Doa's going to have the EMP. Spawn's coming back for EM as the rest of them move towards point.
Who needs to not get picked up for free. The EMP is out. EM will have one final opportunity. They drop the EMP quickly. Unique down right as they go in. But again, they use the EMP to take down Leo. Now, Transcendence out from who? Mostly in time. It's not time to save Leo, but it's a time to save everyone else. Now it's 5-on-5. They're down the line, but on the other side, Eop able to find Houdini. And very close fight, but off of the grab from Sparkle. EM actually pulls it back.
Oh my goodness, Leo so low, not able to get cleaned up, and now great recontest from EM. We saw the EP come out, and he gets the trance, unable though to save those early frags. And it just sort of just catapulted the way for Sparkle to just get a great grab.
And this is the real terror of Doa right now, is that he just used EMP in the last fight. It's what made that winnable for EM. He's at 60% right now before there's been any dancing on the point.
GEEKSTAR, I mean, this is sort of their opening, and I think they just need to look for the grab. There it is.
They immediately grab. They don't want to give Doa more time and force out the Transcendence from Elven Mystic. And again, they are just trying to buy time. They're immediately in full retreat. They hit the S key. They back out. And while they backed out, Doa has been able to build the EMP. EMP comes back in the other side. EM moving forward, but they lose 2 right away. They still get poked down a little bit too much before the EMP can really sink its fangs into GEEKSTAR. And GEEKSTAR, as a result, in a decent spot here. Grab from Sparkle, not gonna be the hero play this time. GEEKSTAR will get point A, but it does take them a significant amount of time.
Yeonwon trading his life for those 2 frags was so crucial. Just getting the most out of that energy early, and even despite him falling, it just means that EM weren't able to clean up the rest of the fight. So huge plays from Yeonwon there.
GEEKSTAR still with a long way to go. 3 minutes, 49 seconds left to get through all of second, get into the final castle area. EM 50% to an EMP, and EM's entire bread and butter, stall.
Yeah, right now it's just going to be stall. They're waiting for the EMP. They're getting low, having to translocate out. GEEKSTAR can continue pushing. They're probably going to be looking for the gauge as soon as possible. There's Viva Bomb, no bubble for Takoyaki.
Self-destruct, moving forward, does not get exactly what they're looking for. Leo, though, invests the shatter, moves forward, looking for his counterpart on the other side. Takoyaki gonna fall. EM unable to dance their way out of that. And even though they'll have EMP for the next fight, GEEKSTAR desperately needed to do what they did there.
Having EMP for next fight, but they're going to have to... This is still winnable for GEEKSTAR, considering that the triple support ult almost up, Yeonwon almost having that grab. The thing they're going to have to worry about is the EMP shatter. Takoyaki does have that shatter up, so it's something to definitely watch out, and GEEKSTAR's support ult usage is going to be so important.
Yeah, and particularly for Who, where EMP's gone out, Who immediately transcending back in the fight, but it's not enough to save Leo. Even with the transcends coming out, there's that period of time where Leo was burstable, and he's just eradicated from this plane of existence. Meanwhile, Takoyaki re-shatter, drops it, doesn't quite get as much as want because he gets stuck in the grab. So the response grab from GEEKSTAR, pretty decent here. GEEKSTAR, they decide they want this fight. They're going to use a barrier. They're looking for Takoyaki. Heavy pressure coming in, but he's able to dance his way out. Sparkle's grab buys the room necessary. And EM doing what they need to do now to fight this back. It's very close. They need to use barrier, but they could bring this back as respawns come in and Leo goes down.
This is a lot of commit from GEEKSTAR in a fight that was, I think, lost a while ago. As soon as Leo went down first and they weren't able to clean up, it was pretty risky to stay in. And then they just continued to commit that beat very late from Dobie. And when they were already, there was just no win conditions. No win conditions on the field. And because they committed, stayed in that fight, Doa, another EMP. So really, Who has to just get these trances off in time to save Leo.
I mean, credit where credit is due to Who, where he's able to build Transcendence in back-to-back fights. It keeps a winning option available for GEEKSTAR, where, look, Doe's gonna drop down, and this time Who cannot transcend in time. That is good night. That's what that was.
6-man EMP. I mean, it's not the worst case scenario for GEEKSTAR, considering there was a really fast fight loss, and they didn't use anything. Well, but a great EMP from Doa.
The key there that it's a quick fight loss is that Doa is nowhere close to an EMP, where you've died so quickly and so decisively, he can't build EMP off you, so it gives a window.
Huge. It's very huge. GEEKSTAR have to find their advantage here. Sparkle, though, is going to have the grab. So right now, the grab is just going to be used as a tool to build EMP more than actually get kills.
Sparkle gonna hang back here, grab, ready. And again, heavy pressure in from GEEKSTAR, diving in. They're gonna get caught by Sparkle's grab. On the flip side, Transcendence invested, GEEKSTAR still pretty healthy. Leo dropping the shatter, not gonna get what he's looking for. EM, again, just withstanding, buying a bit of time here. 70% for Doa, under pressure. Unique already down, and Doa's gonna go out here. Meanwhile, GEEKSTAR, heavy presence on the point, a grab of their own. That's gonna be the gate falling down.
And that was a great grab. They're catching them there. They were just, they had no resources, especially with Unique going down in that fight. They had no resources, they had no speed to get out and contest. They were waiting. Yeonwon's grab locking it up there. And GEEKSTAR using their advantages correctly, knowing there was no EMP, the grab comes out, obviously there was no way that they were going to fall on it with their support ults. So now GEEKSTAR looking for the push.
Well, they're going to be looking for the push. Oh, they stun him, the EMP! The EMP doesn't come out! That was a perfect bash in for GEEKSTAR. They now have a big window of opportunity, so as Takoyaki can live. And Takoyaki down, GEEKSTAR moving in, barrier out. 3 uncontested kills here for GEEKSTAR, and that is such a fantastic play by Assassin.
And there really isn't a lot in the bank for EM coming up. Double support out, Takoyaki's still gonna have that shatter, so it's gonna be on GEEKSTAR to deny that shatter presence, to deny the value.
Takoyaki getting absolutely
out of shatter.
Down he goes, Assassin playing out of his mind. And GEEKSTAR close to setting a quicker time here. They just need a little bit more. Doa, though, has almost built up another EMP. Gonna drop the EMP mid-fight, but there's just so many of his teammates are down here. It's not gonna have anywhere near the same impact because they don't have the numbers necessary. GEEKSTAR real close to finishing this out. It will be a quicker time if they can get through, but Mystic delaying pretty well here, surprisingly enough.
LeGDAY coming back on a throwing the ante. There's the grab out from Sparkle. The Hammond. But Yomwon, he's so high energy right now. The health for EM pretty much non-existent. It's all stagger kills. There's no support ults. Assassin, his second rally of the fight. Assassin, I think, being the hero for that last push.
And there's no other way you could say it, where you're going to start out by interrupting the EMP, where it's not just that they caught Sombra in the middle of it, it's that you have outright defended that. But guys, we are going to have a quick break. When we come back, the conclusion. We are back and the gates are about to open. GEEKSTAR keeping Ike involved in contest because of that man right there, Assassin. The observers know what is up. That was some great Brigida play.
It was. I think Doha got maybe a little bit too, losing that EMP, he was too aggressive, he was just too aggressive, too confident. And you have to be worried about that play. Something that Dobby's doing a lot as well is in contesting Doha on these entries. Here comes GEEKSTAR. Not a lot of time on their bank, remember, so they have to take this fight very decisively.
This is super heavy aggression, exactly what they need to do here. Sparkle already in a world of hurt. Doha pushed back 44% now. More room for him to work with. GEEKSTAR already, they almost have the point. Element Mystic, they have to put some skin in the game. They need to drop down. They do just that, and they even get Who and Assassin right after. Very good drop down here from EM.
And now because of the long contest time, because EM gave so much time, sure, they give a lot of ticks, but GEEKSTAR are in a really rough spot to where if they, I don't even know if they're going to be able to touch the point again.
Well, I got news for you. Even if they are able to get to the point again, Doha's built up EMP, so it's probably going to be all the progress they have at this point. I don't think they will get through point A. 95% is what they'll have to be happy with. I mean, Houdini just adding insult to injury, gets Who on the intro. EMP gave us by Doha, so that's going to be... But on the same note, 95% is winnable, especially when EM can't really run anything quickly. They have to build an EMP in about a minute. Normally, I'd say that that's unlikely. I think for Doha, it actually is likely.
Possible.
Yeah.
I don't think the win conditions are out of Element Mystic's hands here. I think that they have a very winnable fight, but I think GEEKSTAR have to be extremely happy that they were able to get the 95% on the first point. If I'm GEEKSTAR, in fact, I don't think I'm letting them approach the point. I don't want that poke to go out. I really want to try to catch the early engages.
I think for GEEKSTAR, this is where you drastically change strategy in one respect, is that so far in the defense, they've gone out of the way to pressure Element Mystic while ignoring Doha, and then Doha ends up building up EMP. Given that you only have 1 minute left on the clock, if you can just force Doha to translocate out early without building EMP, that puts Element Mystic in a almost no-win situation where they might not get EMP before time is gone. I would love to see them apply just a little bit more pressure with Doha here.
Absolutely agreed. I think they need to be having... They've already been having Dobby sort of like look for a lot of that early pressure, but I think they need to have Gable Sheet just really hunting for Doha. Really trying to deny that, because the EMP is Element Mystic's fight win. It is their win condition here. So just giving Doha as little space as possible to build it is giving them a great place to be in.
Yeah, and even if you don't normally want to hunt the Sombra that aggressively, it's only 1 minute. This is the time where it makes the most sense of all.
This is going to be running out here on the defense. You see Dobby, he's sort of controlling that high ground early, trying to hunt for Doha. Right now, going to be on the point.
Doha on the setup.
Look at that Discord on the Who.
Already looking for it, but focused out. Doha has only built up about 20% here so far. 20 seconds off the clock. It is a race for EMP. Well, meanwhile, oh no, you don't want to give up a tick for free. He got very, very close.
They don't give up the tick for free, but in return, they have to give up the choke to Element Mystic. So they use that space for Doha to just move forward.
30 seconds left to go. Doha has gone over the halfway point. Very likely he could get EMP in time. GEEKSTAR Holding back, now they decide to move forward in the EM. Trying to get an early pickup that could seal the deal. They can't get it. EM gets the disengage. Doa at 85%.
85%. He's just sitting on this high ground, just shooting them in the back when they go for these engages on EM. They
He's
haven't
got it.
anyone pressuring him.
He's got it. He drops EMP immediately. They use it to take down Leo and Assassin. EM with what could be a near insurmountable edge here. Doa beats the timer. They move in. They get the cleanup they're looking for. And Element Mystic, 1 minute more than enough for them to make the Sombra work. They take Eichenwald.
And that's just that was really, they had no one hunting Doha there. No one. We talked about it early, pre-fight. I mean, you brought it up. They have to have someone hunting Doha in that scenario. There's a minute left. And when all these engagements go and you see GEEKSTAR keep moving forward as Element Mystic moved to the point, they would run away. And Doha would be behind them, shooting them in the back, building that EMP so quickly.
And again, I think the thing is, even like we were saying before, even if your normal strategy is diving in, that's building an EMP in 1 minute is not easy. I would say that most Sombras in the game cannot do that even under ideal situations. Doa is sort of a unique animal in that he is able to do that consistently. But just make his life hard. Don't give him easy mode here. And in the end, he has a lot of space, gets the EMP, and well, the results spoke for themselves.
The results speak for themselves. I think if you have a greater time bank, GEEKSTAR can play the way they're sort of playing throughout the rest of Eichenwald, where you're just waiting to get the EMP out and you just win the rest of the fights. But when you're at that minute point, you have to be pressuring Sombra because the EMP is just so crucial there. You don't have that time to just lose a fight and come back in. And we saw Doha just making the most out of it. So just great play overall from Element Mystic, and GEEKSTAR just not quite adapting in the way they need to counter it, especially with the constraint of the time bank there.
And to that note for Element Mystic, I do really enjoy the fact that they have sort of embraced the Sombra setup, where you think back to the games that we saw earlier in the season where we kind of wondered, well, we don't know what your identity is and how you're going to play things. And they went with the Sombra, but then they didn't commit to it. They've committed to the Sombra. It has been effective. They're up 2-0. Can GEEKSTAR bring it back? We'll find out after the break.